Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Princess of the Koopas, but you could call me Brenna, and this is the first video of my 3D Mario game series. Before we jump into today's video, I just want to give you guys an insight of what this channel will be about. My videos will be me discussing different topics. For example, we could talk about video games, movies, TV series, books, etc. And these videos will be made kind of like a podcast. You could choose to have these videos on in the background while you do stuff around the house, or you can listen and hear what I have to say. It all depends on you. So with that out of the way, let's get into today's topic, Super Mario 64. My background with the game. I honestly didn't know there was an original Super Mario 64 game for a long time. I grew up with Super Mario 64 DS and always thought that that game was the only way to play the game. And it wasn't until either my brother or my sister's ex-husband introduced me to it that I realized it was a thing. I think it was my sister's ex-husband, though, because I remember him playing the game and just was super confused why Mario looked so blocky. I even remember that he was playing in Wet Dry World. Sometime later in my life, I finally had the chance to play the game for myself. Kind of. I played a little bit. I learned real quick that I could not use a Nintendo 64 controller to save my life. I couldn't really play the game that well at all. So for a while, I just assumed that I would never be able to play the game to its full capacity. But then, in 2020, Nintendo introduced the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, and I finally got the chance to play and 100% complete Super Mario 64 in just around 4 days. So, yeah, my background with this game doesn't leave that much nostalgia like the DS game does, but it still is a pretty fun game. How the game came to be. It was the early 1990s. Shigeru Miyamoto was developing the 1993 game Star Fox for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the SNES as we know it. While work was being done on the game, Miyamoto came up with the idea of a 3D Mario design. He considered making it a SNES game using a Super FX graphics chip, which was being used for Star Fox. Eventually, however, Miyamoto changed it over to being a Nintendo 64 game as the controller had more button options. Production for the game started on September 7th, 1994 and ended on May 20th, 1996. A lot of the development was simply focused on the camera and trying to figure out the best layouts. Miyamoto also wanted there to be more detail in this game than ever before. This included showing emotions on the characters. He wanted the style to look like an interactive cartoon. Also during development, there were plans to put Luigi in the game for a multiplayer experience. Due to hardware constraints, though, the idea was scrapped. Koji Kondo was in charge of the music while, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this name, Yoji Inagaki was in charge of the sound effects. Charles Martinet provided the voice of Mario, and Leslie Swan provided the voice of Princess Peach. Super Mario 64 made its debut in Japan in June of 1996, then North America in September, and finally in Europe and Australia in March of 1997. It was the best-selling game of 1996. It received great acclaim from critics. It received praise for its 3D environment and graphics, while also having a good variety of controls. It did receive mixed reviews with the camera. Super Mario 64 was an amazing success for Nintendo, and the many awards it won prove that. This game will hold strong as possibly being one of the greatest Mario games ever made. The plot. The game opens up with a letter from Princess Peach inviting Mario to the castle to enjoy some cake that she made for him. When Mario arrives, he learns from one of the Toads that Bowser has stolen the Power Stars and imprisoned the princess and everyone in the castle in the walls and castle paintings. So it's up to Mario to collect the Power Stars and save Princess Peach. Mario must collect a certain amount of stars to open doors to different worlds. Collecting 8 Power Stars grants you access to your first battle with Bowser. Defeating him will grant you access to the basement. Then, you need 30 Power Stars to get to the second battle with Bowser. Defeating him for a second time will let you get to the second floor. When you get to 50 stars, you can go to the third floor. 70 stars is the minimum amount of stars you need to beat Bowser for the third time and win the game. Mario is given a wing cap and travels back to the castle courtyard. Princess Peach is released and thanks Mario by giving him a kiss on the nose and the cake she promised him at the beginning of the game. Let's be honest though, he deserved way more than that. If you're a true completionist and get all 120 Power Stars, you unlock the cannon in the courtyard. With it, you can get on top of the castle and talk to Yoshi. He'll give you a thank you message from Nintendo and 100 lives that you will never use because you're done with the game. Well, my review. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys when I say that Super Mario 64 is not in my top 5 of favorite Mario games. And yet, I still play this game a lot. There's just something about it that keeps making me come back to it. I have my theory of why though. First off, the music is very memorable. Dire Dire Docks and Jolly Roger Bay's music sticks out the most to me. When I was younger and played the DS version, I couldn't go to those levels because the music actually made me sad. Like sometimes it would get to the point where I thought that I was going to start crying. And if music makes you feel that strong of an emotion, you know the game is doing something right. The second reason I come back to this game is for the levels themselves. Every level in the game has something unique about them, so it never really seems like you're in one place for too long. You could be returning a lost baby penguin to his mother, and then throw it off the mountain, to walking around an area that's completely covered in lava. If you ever get bored of one area, you can just hop into a new one with no problem. Finally, the third reason why I come back to this game is literally just for the hub world itself. The hub world is Peach's castle, and you can travel anywhere in the castle. It really gives you an insight as to how big Peach's castle really is. As a kid playing the DS version, I would boot up the game sometimes just to run around the castle. It is my favorite hub world of any 3D Mario game. Well, actually it's tied, but we'll talk about that hub world in my next 3D Mario video. Concluding thoughts. When all is said and done, Super Mario 64 is a game that will remain in most people's hearts forever. Regardless if you grew up with the game or not, at some point in your life, you have heard about this game. There's no way around it. On my ranking of my favorite 3D Mario games, I would rank it at number 8 of 9. The game probably would be ranked higher on my list if it held more nostalgia with me. However, growing up with the DS version, I actually preferred that one over this version. I'm sure many will disagree with me on that, but you guys can let me know in the comments what Super Mario 64 means to you. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. I want to thank you all so much for watching, or listening, I should say. And you can subscribe or leave a comment to show you are interested with the stuff I post here. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!